moderate this stuff anyway.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we'll get going. Give us another 2 or 3 minutes here, and then we'll rock this thing and have a good time.
I always find it funny that like most people start coming to these webinars that start at 8. They always start coming at like 8:05.
Well, you know how it is. It's like 8, they're running down the stairs. 8:02, they remember that the computer is not on. 8:04, they click on the link. Then it's about a minute to install the software if they don't have it or figure out where the hell the link is in the first place. So by the time you get on, it's like 8:07. If you are here, awesome to see you. Thank you for coming. Cool, Neen's on her phone. That's actually what I love about Zoom. Like the phone app is amazing. So thank you for coming. And the other thing I always feel bad about is we always have to like circumvent somewhere on the planet. Like no one from the UK can possibly be on here right now. If you are, I'd be like amazed. But it doesn't matter what time. Some country can't do it.
Is there a way to train people on how to use the chat box or anything like that here?
No, because it looks differently on ours, and they wouldn't be able to see me clicking on that stuff anyway.
Guys, just and you're saying it's in the top left for them?
I believe so, yeah. When you're a participant.
Got you. Okay, yeah. Just I would love for you guys to go and check out the chat box and just drop in, say hi, where you're from, things like that, just so we know. I see people are dropping in the Q&A. What's up, Marco? But I don't see. Okay, cool, JT. Yep, gotcha. Yeah, just get in there because this is definitely going to be, I'm going to ask you guys a lot of questions. I'm going to ask you guys to interact with me. So we'll definitely want to get you comfortable with using that chat box. Keep it open and have it there on the bottom of an iPhone. All right, cool, broski. You want to get this thing going?
The moment it's 5:05 on my clock.
Oh, okay.
We'll go.
My clock is ahead of yours?
Another 15 seconds. You're not adjusted to, oh, there we go. 5:05. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Cirque du Soleil. Wow, yeah, there we go. See, Ilan's been not just writing, he's been working on his hi, everybody. Welcome. This is the SatoriPrime brothers over here. I have me on top, so the one waving, this is Guy. Ilan, Ferdman there on the bottom. And
it looks like we're side to side, but
that's sure, why not? It's however you have it adjusted. I'm the orange shirt, clearly the one talking. Ilan's in black. And this is us gearing up towards our live event that's coming up in San Diego in the beginning of November. We'll tell you more about that as we go through this. But we want to start holding basically training events, at least 2 a month between now and then for everybody. Regardless of whether or not you decide to come to our live event, obviously we would love to have you there. We'll give you some details about how you can actually get there for free or come to the event itself for free.
Oh, you just ruined it for me. I had like a whole hour-long build-up to that, and you just fucking stole my thunder.
That's it? All right. So everyone leave. We'll try it again. We'll try it again in 2 weeks. You gotta fill me in on your things. That's why I asked you earlier. Anyway, so now that you have the punchline, it doesn't matter to me personally. He can get upset as he wants. But, we want to start giving you a taste of the type of training that we offer. We held an event in February here in La Jolla, which was spectacular, left amazing feeling in our body, and was amazing to connect with the people there. A lot of the people that came to that event are just soaring right now. And that event was specifically around the idea of how fear is running your life, how to stop habit running the show, and how to create possibilities in your life so that you can empower yourself to affect the areas of life that are most important to you. And it was absolutely stunning. That event was only a day and a half, and we got a lot done. But we decided that this event needed a whole extra day. So we've been pumping away through our backlog of things that we've done over the last 15 years in personal development, spirituality training, meditation, metaphysics, neuroscience, NLP, you name it, we've kind of run the gamut. So should I do a little intro on me and you real quick?
Sure. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people here that actually know
That
us.
do know us, yeah. Because this is everyone's coming off of our list here.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So look, we presume that you at least know quite a bit about us. Maybe you don't know our whole story, and I'm sure we'll drip little things here and there. But I let Ilan kind of set more of the intention of what we're going to do here, and then we'll start doing a little training, get you guys involved.
Broski, by the way, I have an idea. Maybe while I'm doing some of the talking, you can just kind of blank screen it and then jot down some notes, like highlights.
You want me to blank screen what? I'm sorry.
Can you like, while I'm talking, you know, when you like write stuff out?
Oh yeah, like on a white screen.
Yeah. Just to like highlight some stuff so they're not looking at this screen the whole time. I think it actually.
Of course.
I think it'd be cool.
Do you want us on a small screen, or do you want to actually be on the big screen?
No, I don't need the screen, so it's fine.
All right, let me start.
So real quick, I just want to say to you guys that this is the start of a series. We're going to be doing these more often. Today, the training is going to be much more setting up the context of the kind of work that Guy and I do, what you can expect from us. And like Guy said at the end, we're going to invite you to come on this journey with us. We're going to invite you to come to our live event. We're going to invite you to have us be, as I refer to us later, your spiritual Sherpas, if you will. So I want to start just creating the context of what this journey looks like, what this process looks like, what you can expect from what this work can be for you, and how it can impact you. And through it, I'm dripping all of these different things of what's stopping you, what's in your way, things like that. So hopefully you guys can find the chat box. I dropped in there. I really, really, really love for you guys to participate. And when I ask questions, that you actually think and answer them, because for me, it will actually let me know that you guys are with me. And there's a few parts in here specifically that we're definitely going to ask for your participation and for you to acknowledge where you are in life and things like that. So without further ado, what I'd like to do, bro, maybe just as always, let's start with the how to listen.
Sure. All right. So we're going to give you guys a little bit of training on how we request that you listen. And, mostly people don't think about the way that they listen. They just have this very passive experience about it. We have found over the years that listening is actually one of the things that you need to actively train yourself on each and every day. So the way that people typically listen is through their judgments, through their assessments. So it's kind of like someone's talking and your constant assessment is, do I agree? Do I disagree? Is this right? Is this wrong? Does it make sense? Doesn't it make sense? All this kind of chatter that goes on. Now, the issue with listening that way is whatever is being said, you're not really listening to, because humans are these funny creatures that can actually listen to what they're saying about what's being said versus what's actually being said. So if you just are listening to the voice in your head, agreeing, making these assessments right and wrong all the time, that's where you're going to walk away with is basically a bunch of your opinions. And if you do that, there's nothing wrong with that. You're just not going to leave here with as much value as you could possibly get. So what we're going to ask you to do, what we're going to request that you do, is that you kind of take your opinions, these assessments, these judgments, and just kind of like, if you imagine yourself walking into whatever room you're in, before you walk into that room, just kind of like take those things, put them in a bag, and like drop the bag outside the room. Trust me, those opinions, those assessments, they don't go very far. You can get them back at the end of this webinar. They'll be right there waiting for you. But we're going to ask you to listen the way that you would walk into a fitting room. And if we asked you to try on a jacket and just put it on and just walk around and see how it feels on you, that's the kind of way we want you to listen. It's just like, just try it on, see how it works. If you don't like anything that we're saying, how it fits on you, feel free to leave the jacket there. Because at the end of the day, this type of training, this kind of like paradigm shifting, transformative type of training is really not to convince you of anything. It's to give you access to alternate paradigms in which you can empower yourself through. So if you're not willing to at least look through at that new lens, then you're just going to get what you always have gotten. And we really want you to walk out of here with something new, something to empower yourself, something that's going to make you think and perceive your reality in a different way and have you show up in a more powerful, self-expressed type way in your life, okay? So
Perfect.
is everyone who's on here right now, are you guys game with listening that way? Are you in agreement that that's how you're going to listen for the next like hour or so? Yes? Awesome. Cool. All right, brilliant, guys. Thank you so much for doing that.
Awesome. All right, cool. So they do know where the chat box is. All right, cool. So first question, right? Like get you involved right away. Does anybody know what a plot point is? Think about in a movie. Do you know what a plot point is?
Bro, do you want me to like type it out or like handwrite? I guess if I handwrite
No,
it.
I think your handwriting, just, you know, like what comes to mind if you have
I see.
some things, not like, it's not mandatory, just, you know,
Okay.
if you feel the need.
All right,
I think it's fun when you draw stuff out. All right, so plot point. The definition of a plot point is it's a significant event within a plot that spins the action around in another direction. So said another way, similarly in life, when something happens to you that causes a massive shift in you, and that shift basically creates a desire for you to change. So I'll give you some examples. It could be hitting a tree with your car or getting in a car accident, going through a divorce, being diagnosed with cancer, right? All of these things cause a massive shift. So, well, what I'd like to start today is by giving you a bit of background on the story of our plot point. I'd actually like Guy to kind of tell you a little bit about the journey. Bro, do you mind sharing the story of, if you could do it quickly, I guess in like, 2-3 minutes or so, about how we ended up starting this journey, or how you kind of took our family down this journey, where you were at specifically.
Oh, developmentally, you mean?
Yeah, I remember the story of when you blacked out and passed out. That was kind of your plot point, right?
Yeah. So without getting into the nitty gritty, getting all emotional and tearing up on you guys, the basis of what led me to do developmental work is I can remember from about 12 years old starting to feel that way, but from about 12 to 19, I dealt with depression, with anger, with suicide, a lot of different things like that. When I was 19 years old, and there was a point where it had gotten into like the family ether that I was dealing with this at a pretty significant level. And my conversation for getting help at the time was I didn't really want it. I looked at everyone else and everyone looked really happy to me. And I was like this miserable, like little monster running around that just hadn't figured out quite yet how to be happy. And that was just my perception of reality at the time. And for whatever reason, when this kind of came to the surface in the family and I got offered any kind of support or help, I declined it because I felt stupid, like not being able to figure this out on my own. So I constantly declined any kind of help. But I was 19 years old. It was my sophomore year of college. And just because of the way that I was, circumstances were always like difficult for me. Everything was painful, difficult. I was always kind of the victim. And I came home to spend a month and kind of alleviate some of the stress of college. And I was having a conversation with my parents. And during that conversation, I actually blacked out, like just clicked off and fell to the ground. And my parents were obviously concerned, as parents would be. And I wasn't it scared me, not to the level that I was concerned for my life. But I remember they sent me to the doctor. I got an EKG and an echocardiogram. For those that don't know, it's like a heart thing where they check, if you're on rhythm. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And everything came back positive. And I knew that it would, because I knew that nothing was wrong physically, but up here was an absolute disaster. And I knew that what had happened was there was a literally so much stress within my body that my body's needed a moment to reset. But that did scare me straight. That was the first time I was like, whoa, this stuff is physically showing up. This is not just in my head. My body is literally responding to it. And a year before that, I had heard about a program that a family friend had done, and I didn't really know much about it. I heard it was life tools. That sounded really hokey to me and kind of stupid. But I heard that it had helped this gentleman with his relationship with his daughter, and that's all I knew about it. And I went and did this program, and it was so life-changing for me that I remember the first time I called my parents during that program, from the first hello, they were crying, and I didn't know why.
Same here.
What?
Same here.
Yeah, same with Ilan. And I remember just saying hello and them starting to cry in there. And I'm like, what are you crying about? I haven't even told you anything. And they said, we were kind of already hearing your voice that something has shifted. And it was like that big of a shift for me. And my shift was so big, like so big that to everybody else, it must have looked like I lost 150 pounds. And in essence, I kind of did, because it was like spiritual weight that I lost. But I was such a different human being after that experience. And I literally have not been the same since, that I immediately knew if somebody like me was going through that, you know, somebody who's like slept with bedrock, had given up on their life, had a countdown clock in their head, to shifting to like joyful and experiencing the magic and serendipity of life. If I could experience that, then this was really available to anybody, right?
And it happened in a moment.
In a moment, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally in a moment of realization, I went from being completely convinced the way that life was, the way reality was, to having a completely different context and showing up in a completely new way.
Yeah. So really what I want to talk to you guys about today is the world of the ego. And Guy, at that time, for about 7 years that I can remember, was super depressed, suicidal. I found out much later. I didn't know that at the time. Just went to a really dark place. And it's all because the snap happened when he understood how to relate to his ego in a very different way. And so today's conversation, the things I want to share with you are all about making that separation between you and ego. Understanding what the ego has been doing and how it's been, for lack of a better term, controlling your life up until today, and give you a sense of what it looks like to be on the other side of that. That's about as far as we're going to get to today. And then as we keep building on these, our intention is to do these weekly, is we're going to start to drip in different tools. But I want to give you an idea of kind of the work that we do and why this is so important. Because look, the world of the ego is a world of constant agony and suffering. In other words, to the ego, you can give it a new car, you can buy it a new house, you can buy it a whole bunch of toys, take it on vacation, get it drunk, give it sex, and then you wake up in the next morning and it like pins the list
again
right to your forehead, and it's like, it doesn't matter what you give it. It feels insecure or not worth it or not good enough. And it's like, hey, sucker, get me this, get me that, buy me this, buy me that, go here, go there. Bottom line is your ego is not your best friend. I mean, far from it. Now, some people think that it is their best friend, or it is them even, because you hear it talking to you all day long. It gives you opinions about this, about that, about him, about her. This is good, this is bad, don't do this, do that, this is scary, run away. Just on and on and on. And when Guy said that he passed out, it's because that stuff just got so loud and so crazy that the system just shut off. Mm-hmm. The system literally just shut off. So our take on life is that unless you learn how to create a new relationship with your ego, you're doomed. I mean, doomed, like at best, to a pretty mediocre existence. Okay? And we all have negative experiences. Like if you're a human being and you're breathing, you have negative experiences. But if you want to know what negative experiences really boil down to, this is a very simple way to remember this, and you can write this down. A negative experience is simply this. It's a contradiction to the ego's opinion. I'll say it again. A negative experience is simply a contradiction to the ego's opinion. So I'll give you a few examples. Ego believes that you should have a pain-free existence. You fall off a ladder, or you do whatever, you break your arm. Contradiction. Doesn't match with reality. Ego believes you should have abundance, ease around money. You get laid off. Contradiction. Ego believes that you should have peace and love in all of your relationships. Your spouse and kids drive you absolutely bananas. Contradiction. Ego believes that you should be cozy and warm. Then there's a blizzard. Contradiction. You get the point? So here's the major takeaway I want for you guys to grab right now. And this is really, really important. So again, you may want to write this down. All emotional pain is self-inflicted. I'm going to say that again. All emotional pain is self-inflicted. Now, I know that's probably not an easy thing to hear because you've gone through pain. You've probably had, crazy experiences in your life. But the ego is what makes you feel the pain. It's your reaction to the circumstance that has you feel that pain. So while it might not be easy to hear this, it's actually really, really great news, because once you know and understand this, that's when you can start to heal. And I mean heal quickly. Like Guy said, he didn't have to go through a long 7-year process to get out of the 7-year process that he went through. It literally happened in an instant. I mean, he can tell you the long version of the story, but it was like he was walking down the stairs and he actually remembers the moment that his heel touched the ground and his whole life changed. Okay? Because there's that disconnect, and that's really what we're looking for. So for Guy and I, living a life that's driven by ego, in our opinion, and I'm not saying this is true, you can kind of, make your own opinions on this, but a life driven by the ego is not a life worth living. So I didn't ask this of Guy, but I mean, he can chime in, and I'm sure you'd agree with me that you'd rather live even a week or two self-actualized, like a self-actualized adult, than live 80 years at the constant beck and call of the ego, right?
Without a doubt. Yeah. And just like, even to take it a step further, I remember coming out of Vipassana in November, I think I experienced like love and happiness and purity in a way that I had never experienced it before. And I remember thinking in that exact moment, like, if like a moment of this is worth a lifetime, like it is bigger than a lifetime of pain and like suffering and all that stuff. Like I even made a video. I said, if I die today or even 600 years from now, know that I died happy, because I got to experience that singularity of moment that was like that.
Yeah. And that's what this work is all about. That's what this journey is all about. So what you need to understand is that 97%, if not more, of human beings live their entire life unaware that there's an ego running the show for them. Unaware. Imagine going like 80 years and not even having a clue that your entire existence was run by this ego, who you thought it was yourself. So I want to make a really bold assertion here. And I want to tell you that we believe that you, my friends, are here listening to this right now because you're different. You're just like us. I'm going to call you weirdos, okay? And I mean that in the best, most loving way possible. I'll explain in a second. But you're the ones who feel deep inside that there has to be another way to live life. I mean, because let's be serious here. What's the point of living life if the experience of life is pain, anguish, worry, suffering? Is that like really a life worth living? So I want to ask you guys a question, okay? And I want you guys to really think about this. If today was your last day on earth, how would you assess that you lived your life? If you really looked within and assessed, what would you say you've done so far? Have you been there present? Have you been at the controls directing and designing your life? Or have you been a passenger on your ego's bus? Mm. And I really want you guys to be honest with yourself. And look, there might be some areas of life where you're the driver. And there might be other areas of life where you're clearly the passenger, okay? And that's really important to understand too. Most people, in fact, I probably think almost everyone is completely unconscious of this choice. And so what they do is they get on the bus and be driven. And so ask yourself, why? Why would someone knowingly get on this bus and not take control of their own life? It's because it's easy. It's much easier to be a passenger. Driving your own life, man, takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of presence, an extreme amount of conscious awareness. It takes responsibility. It takes integrity. Look, doing the inner work, like doing this stuff in here, for Guy and I, that's the whole game. That's the whole game. In fact, I would venture to say that, and Guy, tell me if you agree with this, that's the only game worth playing.
Been playing it endlessly for the last 14 years. So yeah, I definitely agree.
Right? There's no end to it. There's no finish line to it, but your life unfolds in the most brilliant of ways.
Yeah, it's like enjoying playing sports or a musical instrument or painting or anything else like that. Except it's like your life is the canvas, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's not easy, right? Like it's not that. And the other problem is that there isn't this, spirit guide walking around and recruiting people and like tapping them on the shoulder or sending them an email or a message on Facebook or whatever and be like, hey, buddy, would you like to start your journey going within? Right? Like it doesn't happen. You're the one that has to have the desire to live your life differently. You are the one that must initiate it. The cavalry ain't coming. You have to be the one to raise your hand and say, you know what? I'm done with this nonsense.
Yep.
I want to change and I want it now, because if I don't do it, I'm literally going to bore myself stupid. So most people, what they do is they talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. Some of them even begin a process, right? Like they'll start something, they'll try something. But statistically, whether it's spiritual work, whether it's working out, whether it's starting a business, statistically, most of you will never follow through. And you want to know why? It's not even your fault. The ego is lazy. It's just flat out lazy. It gets comfortable. It likes where you're at. Why? Because it knows that it can survive this thing where you're at, even though it might be complete crap. It knows that we can survive this. And so it makes you lazy. But if you truly want to go inward and really start manifesting a huge, big beyond belief, a loving, abundant, incredibly, outrageously awesome life, your desire must be way, way stronger than your ego. Secondly, your word must be law. Your relationship to your word has to be absolute.
Consistently.
Yeah. And when it tapers and it's off, if you don't have the power to bring that back, you are screwed. And I'm going to explain to you why in a second.
Yep.
This stuff doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen by you listening to a 30-minute audio tape or being even on a webinar like this. It doesn't happen by you reading a book or watching a movie. If you want this type of life, it takes discipline. So I want to put you guys on the spot a little bit, okay? And I want you guys to choose right now whether this is a game that you want to play or not. And I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay? So ask yourself, am I serious? Am I truly committed to making this change in my life? And I want to just preface this, I don't care and I won't judge you either way. I'm clear that every single one of us is on a journey. I'm clear that every one of us is at different parts of that journey. And I'm clear that the people that are on the journey at the right time with us and resonate with us will continue down that path with us. And I'm also clear that those that aren't, nothing wrong. Like you're perfect. You're exactly where you need to be. We're just not there right now with you. Got it? So the question is, am I serious? Am I truly committed to making this change in my life? Or am I going to be lazy about this like every other time? Am I going to remain my ego's passenger? Or am I going to go to that driver's seat and claim my rightful place as the driver of my own life? So I want to give you an example of how you teetering back and forth like this completely destroys your life. So how many of you, raise your hand or chime in the box, how many of you have wanted to or have started a meditation practice? Started but stopped. Thanks. Sporadically, yes. Great. Awesome. I've started again. Yep. Awesome. Okay, cool. So place in whatever you guys have as something else, but let's just use this as an example because I know it's something that like people start, people stop, people do, sporadically is definitely the right answer. So Here's what happens every time. And I don't care what it is that you say that you want, but every time you do something like this, in other words, you say, I'm going to meditate every day for 10 minutes, but then you do it one day or 2 days, and then you start hitting the snooze button and you miss a day, then you miss another day, you'll do one day. Every time you do that and you put this off, like you said, I'm going to do this, and you don't, what you're telling your ego is this. You know what, ego? I don't really care about this stuff. I mean, it sounds really good, but I'm really not that serious about it. And here's what the ego says. Great, let's skip it today. And as soon as that happens, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're literally screwed, because what happens is you've basically programmed your ego and give them power. Every time you do this, about anything you said that you want, your ego gets stronger and stronger.
You see this in relationships that are failing. You see this in relationships to health that are failing. I mean, any relationship in your life that is failing. So like, I believe that everything is just a relationship to self, to your health, to the world, to politics, whatever it is, right? You have a relationship to everything. And Ilan's absolutely right. Like any relationship where if you give your word to a woman or to a man and then you don't honor that word, how does that relationship go? So with self, right, with ourselves, it's the same thing. It's why so many people have challenges around their health, or they can't make it to the gym, or they don't eat the way that they should, right? It's just these little micro commitments that they're constantly programming the ego to say, it's okay to fail at that. Don't worry, we'll get to it tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
It's always putting it off into the future, like a someday conversation, except someday never comes.
Exactly. Marco, by the way, I just came back in here to check some questions. I saw Marco posted a great question. He said, do you think the ego is also responsible for making us want to succeed and do great things in life? So the answer is kind of two-sided, okay? Yes, the ego can absolutely have people have incredibly successful financial lives. The problem is that the motivation to get there, the motivation to drive towards that. So we do a lot of personal coaching. We do a lot of one-on-one coaching, and we work with some pretty freaking high-level people. I mean, we're charging anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 a month to work with these people one-on-one. And I can assure you, like, while these people have made millions of dollars, their ego made millions of dollars. And it doesn't matter at some point, whether they're 30 or 50 or 60, they get to a point in their lives where they just kind of wake up and they go, wow, this was not the ride that I thought I signed up for. Like, this is not all it's cracked up to be. And they feel empty, and their relationships suck, and their health suffers, and all because what? The ego, somebody told the ego one time that you can't make it, you'll never make it. And then they go out there and like, I will fucking prove all of you wrong. And their entire existence, their entire energy, their entire everything has gone to proving someone wrong. Did they make a lot of money? Yes. They feel just as empty as when they didn't have the money.
I was going to say, it's like, what is your definition of what success means? If it's a number in your bank account, then by many measures, the ego has made many people successful. If when you've gotten to a number, you're just at that number, and then the next thing is, all right, well, I got to consume more, I got to get more, I got to do more. Let's get to that next number, and there's zero satisfaction. And we hear this, by the way, all the time with successful people. Like, they make it to the promised land. We hear with celebrities all the time who say, like, I have all this money, and they still have all these issues. It's because, like, externally, they've taken care of everything that has to do with survival. They basically won the game.
Yep.
Right? That game is, like, victorious. Like, you can't do better. And they're just completely empty, and there's nothing, and they have yet to do the inner work, which is why I think you see so many celebrities turning to spiritual practices. You see a lot of celebrities got like Kabbalah got kind of trendy and all these different things because they're looking in different places for answers that they thought they were going to get by having celebrityism and making a lot of money that it just didn't solve. Yeah.
So it can reach certain levels of income or money or whatever, success in that realm, but you do it for all the wrong reasons and it burns you out. And so even chasing that, it's just like the ego wanting, I want more, get me more shit, more stuff, more power, more this. And so you just have to analyze for yourself, is that what's driving you, right? So the point of all this is that if we're going to go on this journey together, if you're going to take this ride with SatoriPrime, I need you all, and I mean all, to take an oath right now, and I'm actually going to do an oath, okay? Because what I want you to do is I want you to be committed 100% to this process, so that if you're not, just check out now. Don't give your ego more ammunition. Like, if you don't want to do this and this is not something that you're really committed to, just don't do it. So I want to play you a quick little video. I'm just going to share my screen here real quick. Bro, I can't believe I found this video. You're going to get a kick out of this. And by the way, if there's any questions as we go through this, just let me know. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to make it full screen. Did that still work? Can you still see it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to turn up the volume so you guys can hear it.
Oh, Mr. Miyagi, I forgot to give this back to you last night.
You keep.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Sir, ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
And your son must talk. Walk on the road. Walk right side, safe. Walk left side, safe. Walk middle. Sooner or later, get the squish, just like grape. Here, karate, same thing. Either you karate do yes, or karate do no. You karate do guess so, just like grape. Understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Now ready?
Bring back some memories.
It's got
I saw that
video, but
so cool. So look, that's the message, right? The message is, if you come to play with us, we do it all the way. And if you're not ready for that, again, absolutely zero judgment. We totally understand. You're just not here yet. I'm sure we'll see you on the path at some other time. But in the meantime, if you're not, this would be a perfect time to leave this conversation. Okay? Seriously, like, no hard feelings, no nothing. If this isn't a game, like, for us, this isn't a game. This is your life. This is our life. We don't have a practice life. None of us know how much time we have on this little blue planet. So the question I always ask myself, and Guy and I kind of bounce this question off each other quite often, is, if you had 2 weeks left to live, what would you do? How would you live that life? So here's our game. Our game at SatoriPrime is to transform humanity. That's our game. So you need to choose right now for yourself if you're a player in that game or not. The question is, are you 100% in, or are you one of these like, oh, let me see, or let me try, or, you know, that kind of guy or girl? And make that decision for yourself. And again, like, we won't judge you either way, but you have to be all in, or this will end up being like everything else you've tried in your life and it just won't work. So, question, are you done with your ego controlling your life? Are you ready to grab that steering wheel of life and see what you're actually capable of? And if you are, and I hope that, you know, whoever chose to leave, you know, that left already, but for everyone that's here, I want you to take this oath with me, okay? So wherever you are, in your car, in your house, and whatever, I want you to repeat this oath with me, okay? I, and then say your name, promise to live my life as my true, infinite, and authentic self. I choose this journey as my life's journey. I'm 100% committed to the process. The ego may try to control and derail me from my path. I will not let it. I will remain strong. I will honor my word as thyself. I will be powerful, courageous, and bold. I will be me.
I would have loved to be a fly in the wall in the people's houses that actually just sat there at the computer and just said no to themselves.
Okay. So here's what I too want to be a fly on the wall. So here's what I'd love to hear from you guys. In a word or two, when you declare that to the universe and to yourself, how did that make you feel? Give me a word or two. Like, how did that actually make you feel? Marco, I'll tell you what, I will give that oath to you guys. Bro, and just remind me, make a note somewhere, and I'll actually copy and paste.
Okay.
All right. Empowered.
Why don't we do a little PDF? We'll send it out with the replay.
Perfect. Powerful. Awesome. Look, there's something really powerful about declaring that. There's something really powerful about getting your power back, owning that. And that's what that oath is all about. I will happily share it with you guys. Yeah, just awesome. All right, so we're about to get down to business, but I just want to quickly explain to you the nature of the journey, or said another way, kind of the type of work that we're inviting you to come do with us in our community, okay? There's two different kind of tools that we share with you guys. The first are ones that work immediately, you know, tools, distinctions that you can put into your life and they'll work immediately. The others, which I actually think are much more interesting, are the ones that work slower. These are the ones that work at the unconscious level. The unconscious ones are really, really awesome. What you just need to know about these tools is they're subtle. They require committed action. They require dedicated action. It's like you're going to be peeling an onion, you know, layer after layer after layer, and you're going to find yourself maybe a year or 2 or 3 even down the road, and you're going to do something and you're going to go, holy shit, how did I just do that? Because it's all this undercurrent work that you've done that's going to get you that result. But what I can assure you is that Guy and I have spent, I mean, Guy kind of shared before, we've had a combined probably 26 years of this work. We've spent near $750,000 between mentors, courses, books, seminars, gurus, this and that. And our search pretty much has been the search on what works and what works fast. So I promise you that the information that we share with you guys at the live event, in our group coaching, is stuff that we've tested, experientially tested, not just read in some fancy book or watching a video, like tested in our lives. And that's the only information that we share. Shit that we know work. And
I want to add to that. So we don't believe, like I don't, I know Ilan doesn't either, believe in informational learning alone.
Mm-hmm.
We give you access to experiences and things that you can immediately put into practice, so that the things we talk about, even if you're having like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Aha, wow, what a different way of looking at this specific thing. Because most of the things you're stuck with, it's because you're stuck in the same paradigm for most, if not your entire life. The one paradigm that you viewed like relationships through, or that you looked at money through, or that you looked at your personal confidence through. And the moment that cracks open and there's a release in that story, and there's now space for you to start creating actively pursuing the creation process, not just being like an empty bystander, like Ilan said, being the passenger and being like, all right, yeah, whatever happens. No, like actively becoming part of that process. The moment you have that experience, then you get it into your bones, right? And what I'm talking about here is just like, it's just like if we sat here for the next 40 minutes and told you guys about a device that will make you travel faster, you're going to get on it. There's going to be these weird thing called pedals. There's going to be a thing called a handlebar, blah, 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 right? And the intention is that you get to where you want to get to faster, that you get to your goal where you want to get to. Now, we could tell you about that bicycle, then name it, distinguish it, and you will understand it conceptually all the way. But the experience of actually having balance, which gives you access to ride that vehicle so that you can move faster, you need to get on the bike to have that experience. But the moment you have that experience, it's in your bones. You have that for the rest of your life. That can't be taken away. And we want to consistently give you access to those kind of experiences at every area of your life so that you're having breakthroughs by accessing different levels of balance throughout your life. That's essentially what we teach.
Well said.
Yeah.
I have this DJing tagline that you just reminded me of, which is I listen to shitty music so you don't have to.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, we do spirituality and personal growth. Like, we tried so many things so that other people don't have to try the shit. They can actually just focus on what actually works.
Totally.
That's, basically what we've done over the last, 14 years, let's say. All right. So real quick, I made a video. I posted it on Facebook Live earlier today. Did you guys see it? If not, I just want to kind of go over a little bit of what I shared in that video. I'm sure some of you did. Some of you probably did.
Go over it,
I should probably go over it. Okay.
You can read it. Can't be bad.
All right. So it was about kind of what I started this conversation with, is like a knowing inside of you that there has to be some other way. There's got to be more to life than just this. So Stuart Wilde, who's an amazing author, calls us, and I'm collectively saying us, like all of us here, he calls us fringe dwellers. Some of you and some of us, like I know Guy and I, have been called weirdos, crazies. It's all pretty much the same. And when I say fringe dwellers, I don't really mean people who are anarchists or, trying to blow shit up. Not that. It's just people that are kind of on the edge of human evolution. Those of us that just have a knowing deep inside, whether we've done anything about it or not, doesn't make a difference. But we have a knowing that there must be another way to live life, a better, more joyful, loving, purposeful, graceful way to live life, right? So I have to be honest, when I first kind of heard this, I was pretty resistant to the whole idea. And you might be in that same space. So if you don't know, or like what I said doesn't resonate with you, I want to just give you a few examples so you kind of get like what I mean by fringe dweller, okay? For starters, for me, and maybe just most obvious, you're listening to us. And we don't typically attract the normals, we're weird, we're out there. So I'm just
personally, I don't feel like it's weird. I feel like this is the new normal.
Well, yeah, but the majority,
I know what you're saying.
Normal out there is, for us, it's normal,
yeah.
But we're like, it's normal to be weird, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, by the virtue of you being here, I think you're one of us. But there are millions of us out there. There's millions of weirdos out there. So we were told at various times, see if you fit into this, we were all told at various times to conform, to fit in. We were told that we had to wear a suit when we get, and drone off to work. We were told, and for whatever reason, it just didn't feel right. We see people in shitty relationships, just miserable, unhappy. And we're looking at them going, this can't really be all there is when it comes to love, right? And most important of all is that we believe that we have the power to create our lives and shape our own reality. Now, I'm not saying that you know exactly how to do that just yet. That's fine. Those are the tools we'll give you. But you have a deep knowing that your reality is shaped by you. In other words, like, put it very simply, if you have negative thoughts, your life will have negative outcomes. You have positive thoughts, positive outlook, your life will be positive. And I want you to think about this. If you don't think differently from everyone, if you're not quote unquote weird, then what you end up doing is you go with the flow. You end up going where everyone else is going. You end up being just another drone, or as Guy and I like to call them, sheeple. So I don't know about you, but like when I heard that description, I was freaking proud to be a weirdo or a crazy or a fringe dweller. I was like, heck yes, I want to be one of those. Screw the normal, right? So if that resonates with you, if you're kind of seeing like, yeah, I'm a fringe dweller, let me know. Does that resonate with you? And do you find that you're one of those people? Okay? Look, I want to give you some cold hard truth. Thanks, Lori. I want to give you some cold hard truth here. There's two options. You can do something about it, or you can sit back and do nothing. I can promise you this. If you act the same way you've always acted, if you have the same thoughts you've always had, if you say the same things you've always had, then you, my friend, have already subjugated yourself to going with the flow, to follow the herd, to be a sheeple. If it doesn't sound appealing to you, then here's what you need. You need a whole new way of operating. You need to upgrade your entire system. And I'm sorry to tell you something that you probably already know, but you can't sit on a couch or in front of your computer opining about, oh yes, Ilan, that's a lovely thought, or wow, what a positive way to see life, and do nothing about it. That's how people watch so much videos on YouTube. And then you look at their lives like they take no action. And their lives look exactly the same. Wishing that your life would be different will never work. I don't care how powerfully you wish or on how many candles you wish. The weirdos were on a journey back to God, back to spirit, back to consciousness, back to enlightenment, whatever the heck you want to call it. Guys, in my journey is to unlock 100 million souls. Our goal is to unlock 100 million souls to live a life from their true, authentic self. And every single soul that is awakened, our belief is that the entire planet is changed. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of the concept of a global consciousness, but the idea is that you're basically a part of a global consciousness. You can believe in it or you cannot. But the concept is that your journey is all of our journey. So kind of the way we see it is the least you can do as a soul, exactly, the butterfly effect, the least you can do as a soul is make an effort, take action, move forward, improve yourself every single day. Not the external, not the this, just be a better version of you every single day. Play that game. You can't create new energy or you can't go to new places in your life by hanging on to where you are now. If you want to flow down a river, you got to let go of the branches. You know, there's that story about the monkey who's like holding onto the banana and he can't get the banana. He can't get his hand through the bars and all he's got to do is let go of the banana. It's the same thing. You know, we're not really that much better. Now, on the other hand is what you have to understand is that means facing insecurities, facing your fears, your limiting beliefs. You have to deal with that shit head on. And it's this journey isn't just rainbows, lollipops, right? In fact, I would say that sometimes really downright difficult. Sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror, you'll have an insight, you'll have a breakthrough, you'll have something, and you look and you're like, wow, I have been an asshole. But when you have these tools, it's different. It's not like you beat yourself up and do that kind of stuff. It's like, wow, I'm an asshole and I'm great. Right? Like, I'm the first to tell you, there are times in my life when I'm an asshole, but I'm also one of the most generous, unbelievably giving souls because I fucking care about humanity. So, I don't know, you can look in the mirror and go, well, I'm the world's greatest asshole. Because here's the thing, if you were perfect, if we all were perfect, we wouldn't be here. The whole point is that we come into this physical plane, our soul gets trapped in this body, we come into this physical plane to make corrections, to learn lessons at the soul level. Our soul predetermines where we come here. In what scenario, in what environment, in what location, with what parents and what friends and all this stuff so that we can learn. The problem that people have is that we have a delusion that our reality should look another way. It shouldn't. It should look exactly how it is because that's where the lessons are learned. We just have to accept that the struggle, the pain, even the assholeness is part of the damn experience. Look, spiritual growth is not comfortable. And it's definitely not convenient. Otherwise, I think everyone would be doing it, right? So you have to really discard that belief. That's why we believe this information is sought out by fringe dwellers, by the weirdos, because for anybody else, they're like, I don't want to deal with this shit. So I just want to take a minute here and check in with you guys, okay? After having heard all of that, after hearing that description, are you way more excited to be a weirdo? Right? Like, are you proud to be a weirdo? Do you realize now how boring it is to be normal? I mean, yes, exactly. Guy and I knew, like, from a very, very young age, and I don't know why, but we kind of knew that we were different. I don't think we called ourselves weird, but we kind of knew that we were different because it didn't matter where we went. We just didn't really fit in. You know, the sheeple were going this way, and we're like, nah, we kind of want to go this way.
I always said I wasn't Russian enough, I wasn't Israeli enough, and I wasn't American enough.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, we got plucked out. We were always just out of the norm. And you know, looking at it now, it's really a blessing because I think we always were on the search for that thing. Luckily, like Guy said, in 2003, when he found that course, that literally changed our entire existence.
I mean,
it gives us the tools, the motivation, the power to do this. It's the reason we're standing in front of you here today. No questions.
Not just for us. I mean, for everybody who's been in and around our lives for 10 plus years, it has made a significant difference. Like for me, that moment is, if you guys saw the movie Sliding Doors, it was like an alternate future just got completely created around me and for everybody around me in that moment. Yeah. Absolutely.
So look, that started the catalyst, right? Since that time, like I told you, we spent probably in the vicinity of $750,000 on mastering our own humanity, being able to share those tools and what works with other weirdos just like you. So I want to just tell you in kind of closing here what I believe, and Guy, you know, if you have any others, you know, throw them in the hat. But I came up with 3 distinctions of what I think makes what we do here at SatoriPrime, our approach, so vastly different than most of the things that you may have heard or saw out there. Number 1, we believe in results. I mean, I'm all for the woohoo stuff. I love it. Guy loves it. But honestly, if it doesn't produce real life results now, I have no interest. It can sound great. It can do, I don't care. It needs to produce results. So the only stuff that we'll ever share with you is stuff that produces results. How do we know? Because we've tried it multiple times. We tested it on other people that we coach. If that stuff works, it comes to you. Number 2, we like simple and we like practical. We don't care in trying to sound smart. You clearly seen we curse like truckers, which turns some people off. We don't care to be a guru or a thought leader or any of that stuff. I don't give a crap. We want to share stuff that works and works fast, which brings me to number 3, which is we believe in velocity. We like our spirituality on like fast food, fast track. You know, and it's simply because I think we have one life. There's no practice life. This life ticks along really, really fast. One of our first mentors said, blink once, you're 20, blink again, you're 40, blink again, you're 80 or dead. So bottom line is we don't have time to lollygag, and I don't believe you should either. So that's, I mean, bro, is there any other thing that you want to throw in the hat about what makes our approach very, very different?
I like speed. I would definitely add that I think, you know, consistency over time. And I mean, I like both. I've never thought of myself as one or the other. But yeah, I mean, absolutely the things that we share are things that create results in the now. And I think we have thought provocation for things that you can plant seeds and watch them grow over a very long period of time. Because I also don't believe in just like I don't believe in quick rich. I believe in setting proper foundations for people, creating integrity, and doing the work that's required for you to bring back integrity so that you have workability in your life at literally every level of your life. So the only thing that I'll add to it that I really see a distinction between us and again, it's not better or worse. We have a belief that integrity can happen in every area of life. You can get your relationships handled, you can get your health handled, you can get your sex life handled, you can get your communication handled, like everywhere. And what we see is a lot of people are extremely successful at like one vertical of their life. Like maybe their business is taken off, but their relationships are absolute shit. And we just don't see that. We really do see the tie between every area of your life and how they all support each other and can help each other. And I can't tell you how often we see that people's stagnation in their business is because their relationships are stagnant or because their health is stagnant. And the moment that you have a breakthrough in health, your business takes off. Or the moment you break through in a relationship, your business takes off and stuff like that. So that's kind of our approach.
Yeah, for sure.
And by the way, that's why we call everything that we're doing, or is that where you're going to go?
You took the words literally out of your mouth.
That's why we came up with this concept of having it all, because it's something that Ilan and I say consistently to one another. Like we'll get a result in an area of life that wasn't a 10, and we're like, that's it, having it all, like having it all, and constantly creating the context of we're not okay if it like. And I'm not saying we suffer over it, right? There's a big difference between struggling to get somewhere and suffering to get somewhere. We don't believe in having to suffer to get anywhere, but you're going to have to go through some shit and take a good hard look at yourself and get real honest about things that you may not want to get honest about, at least right now in the current context, because that wouldn't empower you to get honest the way that you know how to get honest, with the proper distinction, with the proper tools, putting integrity and getting super honest, but then also having a platform that doesn't put you into a state of guilt or to making yourself feel like shit, but instead you're like, wow, that's really access to something that I've never seen before. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's so funny. You literally took the words right out of my mouth. I will also say the reason that I really like the have it all concept is that have it all to Ilan means something different than have it all to Guy.
Yep.
Means something different than have it all to Ed or Andrea or Lori or Rakesh or JT. You know, like each one of you has have it all. What I like about have it all is we want to empower you to have your all, not my version of all, your version of all.
And by the way, that's really important because our belief is that we want to empower you with tools and experiences, not so that you can find the truth, so that you can find your truth. We don't believe that there's like a singular truth out there that everybody has to abide by and these are the rules and let's get really dogmatic about it and all that kind of stuff. And if you've been part of that and that's given you service in your life, wonderful. But we want to give you experience that allow you to self-generate your own power and then create, again, paradigms and stories and things that when you look at it, they're your valid truth, and those empower you to move towards the things that really, really matter to you. Not because they matter to somebody else, but because they matter to you.
Yeah. All right. So here's the deal. It is with great pleasure at this time that we'd like to invite you to walk the path of your journey with SatoriPrime. And like I said before, you know, we want to be your spiritual Sherpas, if you will. So let us show you the path of least resistance, the path of practical, real results. I will tell you that there's a lot of value in taking this journey with other weirdos. And I'm sure you guys have tried it on your own. I know we all have when we start, we all kind of start doing it on our own. The problem is you end up getting lost. You find yourself walking in circles a whole bunch, read a ton of books, watch videos, listen to podcasts. And truth be told, your life kind of still looks the same. So the offer that we want to make on the table right now is to put an end to this pattern in your life once and for all. The offer is to completely reprogram and upgrade your systems and to start walking a brand new path. One that you can't even predict the results that will be on. Right? It's so vastly different. One that produces results with velocity, one that's filled with support and accountability, and a path that will lead you to the life that you can't even dream of right now. I know like people want their dream life. I'm saying where you're standing right now, it's like you have this view. Where we take you up here, you're going to see a whole other existence, which will lead you to make decisions and choices that you've never made before or can't even see as a path right now. Okay? And here's the best part, which Guy stole my thunder. It's free. Honestly, like, honest to goodness, it's free. I'm going to explain to you in just a second how. So this November 3rd through the 5th, we're holding our next Have It All live experience. It's out in San Diego. We held the first one in February. We were selling tickets for about $700 for a one-day event. And this time the event is actually 2.5 days because we got a lot of feedback and people wanted a longer experience to kind of integrate and do all that stuff. And we're still doing it for free. Now, it's not free because we're doing it watered down or more bare bones. Actually, the event is costing us more to put on, but we had a lot of discussion. This was like a big back and forth. I mean, some of you may have even heard us talk about it on Facebook. We got some feedback, but this is basically like our way of putting our money where our mouth is. So like I said before, our goal, 100 million souls transformed by 2020. And in order to do that, we obviously have to reach more people and get more weirdos and fringe dwellers in that room. And so the concept is this, or the idea behind it is this. It's not fully altruistic, right? It's like, we believe that if you come and spend 2.5 days with us in San Diego, that you'll 100% want to continue this journey with us. Like, those 2.5 days will so blow your mind that you will do whatever it takes to continue that journey with us. So for us, it's really good business. It's like, I don't know, like heroin dealers of spirituality. You know, like first taste is on us, right?
Yes. First one's on us.
First one's on us, right? And I'm sure you guys, look, I know what we can deliver. We delivered it in a day. Take this over 2.5 days. This will literally blow your mind. So here's the deal. Here's exactly how it breaks out. All you have to do right now is save your seat. So if you'd like, or you can even save a seat for 2 people, like you can do for you and your favorite person, you and your spouse, you and your child, you and whatever, right? To save your seat today, all you have to do is put down a deposit, and I'll talk about that in a second, of if you want to save one seat, it's $297. If you want to bring a special someone, it's $500 for the both of you, okay? Then at the event, we'll refund you the entire amount.
A week after the culmination of the event, to be more specific.
Okay, a week after, because we'll be at the event and whatever, but we'll get back every penny, okay? Now, we were trying to figure out a way to not do this, like not have a seat save deposit thing. The problem is that everyone's gonna be like, yeah, I wanna come, and then we have no idea how many people are actually showing up. We don't know how many chairs to put down, how big of a room to get. It's just a logistical nightmare. Our Jordan, who put this together, she's like, you're fucking out of your mind. No chance. So all you have to do is bro, maybe throw up the link.
Yeah, I actually have a little thing I can.
Okay, so throw that up. So all you have to do is you have to head over to youwillhaveitall.com/live, and you can save your seat today. Just as simple as that. There's no like hidden nothing. Literally, like, that's as good as we can make this thing. And the idea is to get as many of these weirdos in that room so we can all have a brilliant experience together and grow. And listen, if what we spoke about here today resonated with you, if you feel like you're one of us weirdos, if you're, I don't know, sick and tired of living the same sheeple life like everybody else, then I would urge you to do whatever it takes to get to the live event.
Yeah, and I would take some time also, because I know we've kind of like just gone on the fringe of what we offer here. We haven't really gotten to deep work. Also, this guys just realized this is a ongoing thing that we're going to be doing over the next few months. So there's going to be like deeper and deeper training. And if we see the same people on there, then obviously we can really start doing some deeper work with you guys. But if you go to the website, you'll also see the experiences that people had on there. We got some incredible testimonials and videos from there. You'll get a good idea of how it was run, what it looked like, the team that we had around it. I mean, it was like, honestly, like a once in a lifetime experience. Go ahead, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to, so I did actually come up with maybe a different surprise.
Okay.
Well, I guess we can brainstorm this out right now. What if we did like a timed thing, maybe give them like 24 hours or maybe to like midnight tomorrow or something like that.
Okay.
And if they register, if they save their seat by that time, we'll give Mindfluence.
Well, I threw that in there. Yeah.
You did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll do that in there.
So let's do Mindfluence, and
we're going to do
what about
the free coaching, right?
And what about the VIP session?
Yeah, it's all in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're all in there.
Oh, good man. Good man. So yeah, guys, that's it. I mean, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Just open your mind, get you thinking about life a little bit differently. look, it's all about building this new relationship with the ego, right? It's about.
Well, by the way, I just want to be clear. So we're going to do this until what? Until like midnight tomorrow?
Yeah, I think till midnight tomorrow. The bonuses at least. Everything else, like the free, you know, the refund, all that stuff is set. I mean, we were talking about doing that date where by the cutoff, right? Like then it goes down to 50%, but we haven't really ironed that.
We're not going to need to talk about that now, though.
Yeah.
So, guys, so all these bonuses right here. So you basically we'll immediately put you into our group coaching next session next week, which you can see above. So you have 2 months of that. And the reason we want to do that is we want to start training you before you get to the event so that you get as much value as you can possibly get from it. Again, to recap, get instant access to our at-home course. It's Mindfluence. It's a 10 module course. And there's also 2 bonus modules in there that take you through exercises. And there's also a live event that Ilan and I did back in Dallas. That was a training on how to upgrade your conversations to an adult conversation. Super interesting. And then for you guys here, we're going to do also a 4-hour private pre-training session. So the event starts on the 3rd at 6 p.m. with a kind of like a community dinner, kind of like a little gala. And we're going to do a 4-hour private training before that, which is basically going to be like small group, really intensive training.
Bro, you know what I just realized you did?
Yeah.
You pulled, like, this is for the VIP people. These are the bonuses, and you just grabbed that for them.
That's fine. I'm okay.
Like these, I'm just telling you,
that's fine because these are also like the early people. So I'm fine. Okay. With anybody who signs up, like takes fast action, gets bonus. Okay. Good with me.
All right. I was gonna say these are bonuses that we give to people that are coming VIP.
Yeah, we got some other really fun stuff for people who go VIP, but this is definitely a part of that. So it's okay. I want look, guys, you guys are pretty much the first people. We've sold 7 tickets so far. I know that we're not going to let more than, I would say about 15 people period come to that 4-hour pre-training. So that's about the cutoff. So if you get in early, you get a bunch of cool bonuses. You get that free training also, which is, again, fine by me. We did it last time. It was amazing. And then for those of you guys who just can't make it out there, whether the dates don't work for you, whether you don't want to travel, whatever the hell it might be. I mean, like we say, push yourself. Like, honestly, November in San Diego is a pretty freaking awesome place to be, period. The hotel that we're at is literally on Mission Bay. It's absolutely it's like waterfront property. It's fucking incredible. You'll absolutely love it. But if you can't and you still want training with us, or if you want to get a preview before you decide that, hey, before I invest coming to a live event with these guys, I want to see what they're all about. There's also our bi-monthly group training. Again, so the next session will start next week. And you can find that at the homepage at youwillhaveitall.com. And there's also some additional training on there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you can't make it to the live event, then I would 100% come to check out the group coaching thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look, our game is to help people reprogram and upgrade their system. It's to help them get the tools they need, the insights they need to start creating results in their lives with velocity over and over and over again. So shit doesn't happen by accident. Like, you actually manifest it and create it time and time again. I'm gonna like when we say we spent $750,000 on this, I'm not kidding. We literally we're gonna go over $1 million because we just, was it Wednesday? No, Tuesday. Tuesday, we hired a mentor for $300,000. $300,000 for a mentor for the year.
We believe in coaching. We believe in doing work on yourself. The best investments we've had in our lifetime have been the ones that we put into ourselves, without a doubt.
100%. And I will tell you that it's, for me, it's like when you invest that amount of money in something, you're basically screaming to God or the universe or whatever the heck you want to call it. You're like, this is how deadly serious I am about this. And there's very few people that are willing to take that kind of leap. There are very few people that will invest that much in themselves. I call it like investing in your karmic bank. The universe responds with massive abundance. I mean, a few hours after we said yes to this, I got an email from a new client that wants to sign a contract to pay us $5,000 a month to work with them, right? Like literally like 2 hours after we said yes. Money hasn't even left our pocket yet. But we basically said that yes to the universe, and it's like, here you go, right? So this might be what this is for you. This might be a stretch for you. But think about what that does. You know, don't think about what you can do. What do you want? What do you want in life, right? Like if you're already asking a question like, what can I do? Can I make this work? That's your ego talking. That's your ego being like, well, here's our circle. Here's where we're going to be comfortable. Here's what you can do. Okay? The problem is that the life you want is not in this freaking circle. It's here. Logic, reason, all that stuff that's here, like keeping you small, that's where you're stuck. You want breakthroughs? Move here. Do something that scares the shit out of you. Jump off the cliff. You know what SatoriPrime's really good at? The Lolita, the chick that we hired as our branding expert, she's like, you know what you guys do? She goes, you nudge people off a cliff, pack them with a parachute, and then, you know, hit them on the way down. And then when they get down to the bottom, you're like, here's a nice healthy snack for you, right? Like we're rough and gentle at the same time. We show you the path and, you know, give you like that little nudge that you sometimes need, and make sure that you're taken care of the whole time. It just, you know, it's just who we are. So any questions, anything you guys want to ask us, now would be a great time. And yeah, that's it for me.
Is 2 paths you can choose from? Is that not proper English? Is that why Marco's saying that?
Marco, he's talking the 2 path, what you have written here, 2 paths you can choose from.
Yeah.
No, he's saying what's the difference between the 2 paths? One, Marco, is the bi-monthly group coaching,
which you can get access to immediately.
Yeah. The other one is the live event in San Diego.
Yeah. If you do decide to come to the live event, again, I want to reiterate that one of the nice bonuses is that you'll be enrolled in our group coaching for the next 2 months as well. So you can see how we coach, and we want you showing up to the event having already had like massive breakthroughs in your life, and then using the event as a springboard to elevate that experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Questions, comments, anything?
Yeah, anything. And while you guys are doing that, just seriously from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here. Wherever you are in the world, I don't know what time it is for you, but thank you so much. I know time is everything, right? Like it's the one thing, whether you're dead broke or a billionaire, we all have the exact same time. It is literally the most precious commodity. So the fact that you guys chose to spend, you know, 1 hour and 20 minutes with us right now, just the greatest thing ever. Seriously, you guys are the reason that we get to do what we love to do. If you weren't here, we wouldn't be able to do this. And it truly is just the best and absolute greatest gift. If there's anything that we can help you with, if there's anything in life at all that you're stuck or anything like that, you have any questions about the live event, I'll give you guys my email. Email me. Let me know how we can help you. And yeah, absolutely amazing.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you again for coming, and love you. Have an amazing day, and enjoy your weekend. Can't believe it's almost Friday already.
Bye. I love you guys.
Bye.